Hi guys, kumusta? Um, well, today I decided to make the most of my time. Unfortunately, we're still observing the enhanced community quarantine, and I'm one of the few who's quite unfortunate because my employer currently observes the no work, no pay policy. So, hopefully, um, ano ba, ma-survive natin to all together. So today, I just want to make the most of my time and I miss training. So I decided to put up a content today that would hopefully be helpful to some of you guys. So I decided to discuss some of the things that I discussed in my class, specifically sa previous company that I work with. So today we'll talk about interview questions and how to answer interview questions if you're applying in a call center. So the most common, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the very first questions that you would be asked when you apply in a call center is tell me something about yourself. Now, for some of you who have been applying the call center industry, I'm sure sisiw na sa inyo to kung paano to sagutin. But I guess this video would be helpful to those who are fresh grads or those who don't have any idea on how to answer the question, or those who are a bit apprehensive to apply and who doesn't have much idea on what the call center is about, or someone who has been working in another industry, and wants to venture into the call center industry. So ito yung isa sa mga questions na sasagutin mo. So how do you effectively answer that question? Ano yung mga kailangan mong i-discuss or isama dun sa discussion when you're answering this question? And ano yung mga anticipated answers ng mga interviewer? Ano yung mga gustong marinig ng interviewer when you're answering this question? So, I will give my personal tips on how to answer the question. So, I've actually created a PowerPoint presentation about this. So, I'll go ahead and switch to my PowerPoint presentation and I'll get back to you guys. Okay? Sige, see you in a bit. Alright, so again guys, in this video we'll answer the question, tell me something about yourself. So how do you effectively answer this question? So what are the information that your interviewer will be expecting from you? And how do you effectively deliver those information? So first, just to give you guys an idea, pag nag-apply ka sa call center, there are a lot of stages. And the very first stage in the hiring process or application process is the initial screening. Now, you have to understand na on a given day, sobrang daming applicants. So, to save time, what they do, or the interviewers do, is to do the initial screening by groups. Meaning, pag tinawag yung name mo, you would probably be with 3 or 4 people in that interview. So, paano yun? May mga advantages and disadvantages yun, guys. One of the advantages, you can either stand out, or the disadvantage is to be eaten alive by your co-applicants, lalo na yung mga call center experience. So how do you stand out? So ito yung, again, yung mga tips ko sa inyo guys on how to stand out. So first, you discuss your name. Next is your address. Next is your educational background. Next is your work experience or experiences, and finally, goals. Ito, yung goals guys, normally, hindi yan kasama sa tell me something about yourself, but I will discuss that a little bit more when we get to the last part. Okay? So, how do you effectively discuss your name? Or ano yung di-discuss mo dyan? Of course, you want to provide your complete name. And then, mention your nickname or how you want to be called by the interviewer. And then the last part would be greet and use the interviewer's name. Ay, ang last part guys, yung third bullet, very important yan. Because remember, I want you to stand out. And ito yung isa sa mga possible ways to stand out during the interview, kasi not a lot of applicants would greet and use the interviewer's name when they are explaining, when they are answering questions. Bakit hindi? For some reason, hakalimutan niya ng mga applicants. So, to stand out and to be memorable, you want to use your interviewer's name. So when they introduce themselves, normally they would introduce themselves before you start answering. So make sure you do your best to recall or remember the interviewer's name and you use that. For example, the interviewer's name is Michelle and your name is John Mark Santos. So how do you do this? You say, "Hello Michelle, my complete name is John Mark Santos and you can call me John." Of course, pwede mo yung baguhin. You can say, "Good afternoon, Michelle. My complete name is John Mark Santos. And you can also call me John." Ayan. So, parang guide mo lang to, guys. You don't have to memorize, but it's up to you. The danger about memorization is, again, pag nakalimutan mo yung word or phrase, may hirapan kang bumalik. So, gamitin mo lang siya as a guide. But again, in this specific point, the very first part, yung name, mention the interviewer's name to make you stand out, okay? Next is address. So sa address, guys, first, complete address is not necessary. You don't have to give out your complete address because your interviewer is not gonna write you a letter. Okay? And I'm sure your complete address is already written on your resume. So you don't really have to provide your complete address. Ang importante dito, guys, is to give your interviewer an idea of where you're from and how far is your place from the office. Bakit yan importante? Kasi guys, your interviewer, ninonote yan. It could, they're thinking if you would be having any issues coming into work from your place moving forward, or if they hire you, especially pag rainy season na, okay? Pag Christmas season na. So ito yung isa sa mga considerations nila. And another importance that I can think of is, let's say they have an office near your place, so they would also advise you. Yon. So how do you do that? So you say, I'm currently staying in Pasig, Michelle, which is just 30 minutes away from here. So if you notice, I'm inserting the name of the interviewer because again, this is just tips. Okay, these are just tips, guys. So you can insert fillers or the interviewer's name every now and then. Okay, so next after your address is your educational background. So here, ano yung i-discuss mo? So you have to mention, of course, if you're a college graduate or if you're a college undergrad. Now, I will leave it up to you guys if you want to discuss the reason why you were an undergrad or personal tip, wag muna. Kasi guys, pag pumunta ka sa interview, your interviewer would know kung memorize mo yung answer or not. And one of the which to be safe is not to mention all the information right away. Kasi minsan yung mga interviewer, they would inject question here and there while you're speaking. So, para kang pupunta sa gera, wag mong ibala, how would I say that? Don't fire all of your information. Don't say all of your information in one go. Magtira ka para pag nagtanong sila sa iyo, may follow-up question, you would still be able to answer confidently. And these information are all about yourself. So it's something that you should be comfortable and confident in discussing, right? So after that, discuss, of course, your school and your major. So how would you do that? You say, I am a second college, or sorry, I am a college graduate, or I am a second year college undergraduate from the University of the Philippines, where I major in architecture. So if you notice, I say where I major in architecture. Sometimes a lot of applicants would say where I took up architecture, which is okay, but that's very Filipino. So either way would be alright for me, like where I major or where I took up architecture. Okay, so yun yung education. Next is Goals. Para saan to, guys? Now, nilagay ko to, guys, kasi most of the time, a lot of applicants would stop with work experiences and they would just say, that's it. Now, remember, guys, stop saying that's it. Again, ang gusto ko maging memorable kayo, mag-stand out kayo. So how do you do that? Instead of saying just simply saying that's it, you end your answer with a bang. You want to be memorable. So how do you do that? You have to tell them why you're there, why you're applying in that company. Ano yung goal mo? So you have to tell your interviewer, and that would separate you from the other applicants. And then you may also want to add your short-term and long-term goals without saying my short-term goal is or my long-term goal is, kasi medyo memorized yan. Ay parang tunog memorized pag ginawa mo. So just be direct to the point. Tell them your goal, why you're there, why you're applying, and in a subtle way tell them your short and long-term goals. So for example, you say, I'm here, Michelle, because I want to be a call center agent, and as a breadwinner, this would help me send my siblings to school. And I assure you, if you hire me, I will do my best to be one of your top agents. And someday, after a year or two, maybe, I want to become a trainer. So that's how you effectively end in answering this question. Or that's how you end this question. Kasi yung iba, again, they will just say that's it. Alright? Now, pag samasamahin natin sila, ito yung lahat ng answers mo. For name, address, education, work experiences, and goals. Now, if you notice, if you look at all of these information, pag sinabi mo yan ng magkakasunod, medyo parang it would still sound as if it's all over the place and memorized. So again, I don't want you guys to memorize. Tips ko lang to sa inyo. Ito yung mga parang outline, parang idea kung ano yung dapat nyo sabihin. If you want to memorize it, that's fine. Pero sometimes the danger there is pag nakalimutan mo isang phrase, nahihirapan kang bumalik sa train of thought mo. So it's up to you. I will leave that up to you. Pero aside from memorizing or looking at the points, kailangan mo guys gumamit ng what we call introductory or transitional phrases. Kasi when you explain yourself, when you introduce yourself, it's like painting a picture. Okay? And you want to help your listener or your interviewer get the bigger picture. So you make use of transitional statements or introductory statements para mag-guide nyo sila kung ano yung mga points, ano yung mga information na sinishare nyo. For example, if I am the applicant, and if I use the introductory or transitional phrases, this is how it would go. Hello, Michelle. My complete name is John Mark Santos, and you can call me John. I'm currently staying in Pasig City, which is 30 minutes away from here. And regarding my educational background, I am a college graduate from the University of the Philippines, where I took up architecture. And talking about my work experience, I've actually worked as a service crew at Jollibee for 3 years. And during my stay, I learned about a number of things like customer service, multitasking, and time management. And now, Michelle, I'm here because I want to be a call center agent. And as a breadwinner, this would help me send my siblings to school. And I hope you hire me, and I will do my best to be one of your top agents. And someday, after a year or two, I want to become a trainer. So, ganun guys. If you notice, I actually use some of fillers, and I didn't really stick to the information parang verbatim ng word per word. So again, guide nyo lang yan. So that's how you can answer this question. Okay, so these are the information that your interviewer would be looking for. Now, depende kayo sa company and depende sa interviewer. Honestly, an interview is a little subjective, although may standard yan na fina-follow yung mga interviewer, pero it's still a little subjective. Personally, what I would say is be very confident guys. Kasi kung meron tayong 5 applicants, you may have perfect pronunciation and grammar, pero pag mukhang mahihain ka, they would probably still say no for now. Kasi nga, remember that you're applying for an agent role and you would be speaking with Americans na mga may strong personality. So if they feel that you would be eaten alive by the Americans and shy kang pakinggan, they wouldn't really hire you. So one of the things that you can bring with you during the application and answering the question is your confidence. Okay, and they won't expect that you have perfect grammar or perfect pronunciation, so you don't really have to worry about that, as long as minimal lang naman dapat yung ano mo, grammar lapses and pronunciation slips. So knowing how to answer this question, hopefully you would feel more confident in answering the question. So yun, that's how you basically answer this question. So ayun guys, yun yung personal tips ko sa inyo kung on um, kung paano sasagutin yung tell me something about yourself. So I hope you learned something. I hope you find that helpful. I would also put up some videos in relation to this. Ano po yung mga other interview questions that you should expect if you want to apply in the call center industry. So like I said, itong video na to, it could be for someone na a little apprehensive to work in the call center or apply in the call center industry, or feeling mo medyo may edad ka na and you don't know what to expect when you apply in the call center industry, or medyo feeling mo hindi ka confident sa communication skills mo, in confidence level. So hopefully you find this helpful, and if you have any comments and suggestions, of course feel free to comment down below, and of course feel free guys to subscribe and hit like. I would really appreciate that, and I would go ahead and come up with hopefully additional videos that you would find helpful about the call center industry and how to apply in the call center industry. Okay? So, anong oras na ngayon? It's already almost 3 a.m. Nakita yung eyeball ko, no? So, it's almost 3 a.m. So, I will go ahead and, upload this, and I guess that's about it. Good night, guys.